You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. We are live. Yeah, we are. We're a little late, but we're live. And we're coming to you from paceradio.net and 420pace.ca. Well, Tamara, how did things get started?
Well, my computer still won't shut down. It keeps telling me Google Chrome and I had it all up and ready to go.
Yeah.
And then my Wi-Fi, everything went down. Like my Wi-Fi is back up. Everything went down. I don't know if there was a glitch, but I'm scrambling. I was scrambling.
Gremlins in the system.
Well, yeah, I couldn't even send a message. When I sent you that message, it was like, and it just was sitting there, like turning and turning. It was like,
yeah, I just sat here and waited.
Well, eventually the squirrel would show up. I am unmedicated.
Yeah, I knew you'd show up. So I just sat here. Sent you a message,
Yeah, right. And like I said, I had to work at 8 a.m. I work till 10 o'clock now. So it was 10 o'clock last night. I had to be at work for 8 o'clock this morning. And then I forgot to take my medication to work with me. So you know what kind of day it's been.
Yeah. It's been one of those days then.
Yeah.
For those who are tuning in the podcast version afterwards, we're starting 15 minutes late. But as you said,
my computer, like I said, my computer is still sitting frozen. And I had come home from work, opened up Facebook. You had sent me the link. Yeah. I sent you a thumbs up. I clicked on the link. I had StreamYard and everything all open. I went off to do some stuff. I came back in here at 4:45 or 20:25, and everything was like this. And I'm like, and it's still sitting like that. And I can't get, like, my mouse is moving, and I keep hitting cancel, and I keep hitting OK, and it just keeps popping back OK. And I have had this Mac for about 6 or 7 years.
Oh, yeah. The computer.
Probably.
It's a computer, right? Yeah.
Well, it's a Mac, right? But it's like I said, I've had it for 6 or 7 years. It's an Apple, and they do die eventually. Like,
they all do. They all do. Like I was talking to my son; he's into computers and all that, and I told him that my computer was 6 years old, and he says, "You've done well."
I know. I've had laptops that haven't even lasted a year.
Yeah. Eh?
Yeah, wow. I've had Acers that crapped out in 6 months, but when you're that one I was doing Nation Builder and a bunch of stuff for Normal Women's Alliance on it. Yeah. It was running 24/7. That poor thing did a lot of work.
Yes.
You know what I'm having a yard sale too, and I came across a bunch of old memorabilia, and stuff from old past mom cups and this ridiculous stuff you hang on to. I'm thinking I can probably sell some of that stuff legally now. The rolling tray, that has.
Rolling trays. They're not cannabis. They're rolling tray.
And it's legal, and it's not like I'm going to be selling used bongs.
People buy rolling trays. People buy bongs. All that stuff. Clean out the bong, right?
Why not? You didn't see the I didn't think I'm looking at my son going, I don't know if we have a yard, so we just junk, pile a bunch of junk and send it off to the dump. But I'm going through drawers and stuff, I'm finding blocks, for your phone, you plug into the wall. I've got about 100 of those.
Yeah.
They all work. So why not put them in a garage sale for 25 cents, right? Somebody will buy them, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I've got a few bins of different, miscellaneous things that I've collected up over the years, and or things that I don't use anymore. Or
yeah, but I'm just not so sure I want to sell my Wii and my Switch and that kind of stuff. I think I'm going to keep that stuff. Yeah. I don't know if it's worth it, I got my camera too. I'm sitting here thinking my phone takes better pictures than my camera. Should I just sell my camera, my entire pro?
Well, there's are some advantages of the camera. If you had, like, for example, like a 200 zoom lens on it.
I do. I got like a
Yeah.
telephoto.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to get that out of a phone.
Oh, my phone will take pictures right to the moon. All those beautiful crater pictures I get, and all
Yeah.
those pictures of the eclipse,
You're not using
all on
an
my phone.
iPhone. I have like a 4-year-old iPhone that.
Oh no, the Samsung Galaxy, all those pictures I get of the moon with the crater, that's all on my phone.
Yeah.
My phone takes better pictures than my telephoto.
Wow.
Honestly.
Wow.
Like seriously. Because with the telephoto you gotta set up, you gotta put it on a tripod, you have to set your your shutter speed and all your shit. And then literally you have to like take your in fact I just found my clicker and then walk away and click it and then don't or if you're holding your camera, don't breathe.
Yeah.
You gotta stand still. Like so it doesn't even move an inch or you don't get those shots, right? Like
Right. Yeah.
but I mean like this camera is like worth like I paid over $3,000 for it. It's a Nikon.
Oh.
Yeah, like it's a good like it's my Nikon camera. Like it's a Nikon.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it's more like of a with the body and you stick a lens on it. Yeah. Block it in. Yeah, one of those.
No.
Yeah.
This is like I paid a lot of money for this because I was doing pictures and stuff for like trying to get into the magazines with like
Correct.
stuff,
Yeah. I had a
and I do a lot of So I like I said like
mind you, that's now really ancient. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. DSLR.
right? And this is the telephoto and this is the regular lens, right? So I've got both lenses.
50 mil lens.
This one is the 50 mil and this one's the 300.
Yeah, I showed. Yeah. I had the 200, the 50, and the 28.
And this is a telephoto. It's a good one. I can't remember, but it goes up to like I think it's 300 millimeters. Yeah, it's a 300 millimeter.
I haven't used mine in years. It's because the phone's just so convenient, though.
Well, that's what I mean. Like I don't use it. Like it's been sitting in the bag for like I got this when I moved here, so I've been here 10 years. I think I've had it for 5 or 6 years. Like it's not that old, right? Like 5 years maybe.
Well, I had an opportunity to have some pictures in a grow book.
Nice.
And they really liked the pictures, and they said, "Can we have a better resolution? We got a bigger resolution of them." And I said, "Oh, I just took those with my phone." And they said, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Yeah.
If I had taken it with my other camera, I would have had pictures in a grow book.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like that's why I got the camera because it was the same thing. Like you can take whatever you want with your phone, but they can't use that in a magazine. Like Asia couldn't use any of my pictures in 12-5 chicks.
Yeah. The
like,
quality.
Gus couldn't use any of my pictures. Like Mark couldn't use any of my pictures in cannabis culture, right? So that's why I got the camera because. Yeah.
All right. Well, so much for gabbing about miscellaneous.
Cameras could take pictures of our plants.
Right. I seen you post a picture of I believe it was in an article, and you circled it and you said, "See that we're making a difference," and this has to do with the CSP program.
Yeah, so that was the local fire department putting out their kind of fiscal 3/4, like halfway through the year or whatever quarter report,
incident report type thing,
right? Yeah. So and that was in our local newspaper. I mean, they don't directly,
it didn't directly say you, but what it did say that there has been a reduction
in
overdoses.
Yeah. And on that note, we also lost one of our patients last week.
Right.
But we're not. But I'm not going to say that was due to any overdose because he had some cancer issues too, and I knew this, right?
Right.
He had also been working at the food bank and doing a lot better. Yeah. So I'm not going to say that his death was due to that because I don't know for sure. He was, like I said, working the day program, trying to stay sober. He was from the shoe swap, so he doesn't get to be. I can't go and say goodbye because they're taking him back to his band out there. So,
Right.
if he was Kanaha, he'd stay here, but he was from the shoe swap. So,
Yeah. If he had cancer, then
yeah.
we
And there's
all know
another
that,
couple
right?
out there that, also same situation, cancer, right? And that's how they became addicted too, is that they were, cancer patients. The doctors give you all kinds of opioids and stuff when you're taking your cancer and you're going through cancer treatments and stuff. And then once you get into remission, they don't give you any more drugs. And your body's is then used to those drugs. And if you don't,
Yeah.
and to be fair, you can't blame the doctor. The onus is on you as the patient. They wean you off, right? So they wean you off over a period of 3 months. They give you the stuff to wean you off. They tell you can only take so many, you have to wean yourself. So many days, then you lower your dosage, right? So the onus is on you to lower your dosage. It's not the doctor's fault that you don't, and you just keep trying to. And then
They're not just cutting them off cold turkey.
no,
I,
they give them 3 months to wean down. And like I said, the onus is on you, the patient, on you to take the recommendation from the doctor.
obviously, not everybody can do that.
Well, no, it's not that. It's that some people just choose that they like that. They like to feel like that. Once you start weaning off, they want to, like, their body's not agreeing with it because you are going to maybe get a little sick. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I've never had to wean myself off opiates. I know what weaning myself off prednisone wasn't the same type of thing, but if I would have went cold turkey off of prednisone, there would have been probably harsher side effects to what I was.
Yeah, I did the 8-7-6-5.
Yep, me too. Yep.
Yeah, I did that as well.
And you had to do it like you had to do it like 1 week, and then the next, and then the next week, and then so it was over a period of time. It wasn't like a week. It wasn't like, okay, today you take 8, and then tomorrow you take 7, and then the next day you take 6. It's like you take 1 week, and then the next week you lower yourself down, and then the next week, like, they don't expect you to come off cold turkey either. Most doctors are pretty forgiving when it comes to, because everybody's an individual, right? Not everybody's going to be able to lower themselves down as quickly, depending on what they're dealing with too. And if they still have pain levels, they might have to maintain a certain level. You know what I mean? But then, like I said, it gets to a point where the doctors can't keep helping you. Like, I have no issue. Like, I can walk into my doctor and every 3 months get my prescription filled, but I still have a bottle from like 3 months worth and from before, because I very rarely ever take them.
Well, if they're expired, you can always take them back to the pharmacy. That's what I did. I had a bottle of painkillers when I left the hospital.
Yeah, just take them back to
20 some odd years ago.
Yeah,
and I took them back to the pharmacy 3 years later with only 6 pills missing, and used cannabis the rest of the time.
See, and I wish that I could. Like, I'm in excruciating pain today because I can't sit and puff weed all day at work because I was working.
No, yeah, exactly.
And so, so when I work the 3 shift, but again, like, my physiotherapist doesn't want me working nights either because of my chronic pain. She says it's too hard for you to get into a sleep pattern to control your pain, because you have to get some decent sleep, go to bed not at 3 o'clock in the morning, and only get 4 hours sleep a night. That's not helping you manage your pain in any way. No. Whether you're using cannabis, whether you're using pain pills, you can't manage if you don't have the proper rest. So she's giving me shit because I go get off work now till 10 o'clock at night. How can you? And I don't eat because I can't eat at work because of the colitis, right? So, yeah, that's where we're at with that.
Yeah. I was talking to a fellow today, actually, Dr. Buck.
Oh, how's he doing?
Good. I was over there to. He was having a little, like, basically, he's not far off the highway, so he opens up his trailer and
has a little popcorn. There's popcorn.
No. That's not right. I was told today.
Oh.
We don't popcorn around here. We have kennel corn around.
Oh, kettle corn. Yes, I forgot. Yes.
Kettle corn. Okay.
Yeah, kettle corn. Yeah, and I still have to get. Like I said, I'm such a broke joke. I can't afford free lunch. So
yeah, he was making some caramel corn.
Ooh,
when I was there, and he was making. It was a new formula or whatever, new recipe. And here we go. I don't know if you can see it.
Looks lovely. Yum.
And what it is, instead of using, like, if you I've got a picture here. Here we go. You can see this. I got 3 different kinds of kennel corn. I got that stuff that's colored, right?
Yep.
And then in the center there in the container is the caramel, and then the
Yep.
other stuff is sweet and sassy. Sweet and
Oh.
sassy. Okay, well, they have to put stuff in there in order to create the colors and add flavor and stuff like that.
Right.
So, what he's gone and done is he's actually taking caramel, okay, and he's got this caramelizer machine.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And there's caramel on the bottom of that.
Yeah. And then he
yeah,
just puts the popcorn in and mixes it all around and wraps it up.
the machine does it all, and it just coats it. That just like covers it and layers it in caramel. Yeah. As you saw in the bag in the container, I brought that home, right? and I can't eat it, but everybody else around here can, and they all enjoyed it, right? So
right. Yeah, no, like I made caramels, medicated caramels, and let me tell you, they're pretty good.
Well, the caramels, yes. Well, what I didn't talk to him about this, but I don't see why, because he puts real butter in it. Puts a quarter cup of real butter in there, or quarter pound of butter in there. Why not put a quarter pound of infused butter in?
Yeah, or just put in some extract to after you're done making the caramel. Because I didn't use I didn't use counter butter to make my caramels. Okay. I just added extract to the mixture of caramels, and then some keef for good measures.
Yeah, you could probably add keef to this at the same time.
Yeah, because it's got caramel, because it's got condensed milk in it too. So the keef will.
Would it be too hot though?
No, because it only have to bring it up to 244 degrees.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Just under the flash point. And even with my candies, I got to get my candies up to 350, but it's the timing as to when you put the extract in.
Right.
If it's not in there very long, it doesn't do anything. So if you put it in
the
the very end, and you just mix the shit at the very end and then start pouring, you're good to go.
Good to go. Yeah.
You just don't want it simmering anything at like above 250. We all know that. That's the flash point, right?
Yeah. Exactly. So, but no, it was good. Went over there and had a visit. He's going to have I think he called it a fun market in August, I believe is when it is. And he's invited us over.
Nice.
Yeah. He's gonna have it's for a vendor. I've had him tell me what some of the fees are, and we've been involved in events. We know ideas on fees.
Yeah.
And but he's gonna have something low cost fee. He's looking I'm talking like double digits, not triples or anything. Talking
our farmers market charges $25 a weekend.
He's talking $40, and he'll give you a $10 voucher for food.
Yeah, that's a fucking screaming deal too.
Yeah, you pay out $40, but the booth in the end only costs you $30.
Yeah, and then you're probably making more than that. See, some markets want like so much money and then a cut of your take for the day too, right?
Yeah. No, none of that in this whatsoever.
Yeah, I think straight up $40 is a good deal. With his
exactly. So he's got a nice field and all that where he can set all this up.
But is he doing like? I guess you could do cannabis product there because it's legal now. But could you or is it not?
Well, I don't know.
He's gotten right away from that though. He's gotten really right away from that. So that's probably something he doesn't want to have. Involved.
He was a friend as well as a sponsor here on the network.
I mean, if he's gone away from that, why wouldn't you? He's still using cannabis as a medicine. He's just not having it a business anymore. That doesn't make him any less part of the community.
Correct. Yeah. It's we're in a way we're an advocates business, not a retail business or anything. But So yeah, he asked me if I still went around and did different shows at different places, right? And I said, well, it's been cut back and all that. I said, but I got all my equipment still. And he says, well. And then he started telling me about his fun fair and all
We
that.
could do a live from there.
As long as we got reception, we'll do a live from there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'll come in and help you. You can walk around, and I'll help you co-host that. That'd be fun. It'll be on a Saturday or something, probably, right?
Yeah, it would be a Saturday.
Perfect.
I didn't go over to the field, which wasn't far. We went right to the edge of the field actually, but while I was there, I didn't bother checking my reception to see what it was like and be able to broadcast from there, right?
Yeah. Oh, and test it out. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right?
Yeah, lots of time. So we'll do that.
But that'd be fun. And even then, kind of like maybe get off, like do like fun stuff, like maybe off topic sometimes might not, be a bad idea every once in a while. I don't know.
Well, for years with Treating Yourself magazine and even with afterwards, after the magazine, going to non-cannabis events to promote cannabis.
Yeah.
Is how you reach people that's outside of the choir, as they call it.
Right.
Yeah.
And and people are curious more now than ever because of it being legal, right?
Yeah,
and you're not out promoting. We're not out promoting sales. We're out promoting education.
Correct.
Education's not illegal and never has been. Even when we were doing it before, it wasn't illegal to spread education, right?
No. And I've got a few magazines that I can give away. I haven't got files or anything, but I have a few that there's somebody who's really interested and all that, and they are a patient.
Well, one thing I noticed at our farmers market, like that nobody had, like at their booths, nobody had any more than about 6 or 12 jars of each of their product. Like they didn't have 10 jars out. Yeah. They had 6, like even the ladies selling jams and stuff, even the honey. And even the arugula and stuff, like they only had like 12 bags of arugula and 12, because to begin with storage, you're there for like 4 hours. You got to think of like, do you have to bring a refrigerator with you? Do you have to have it refrigerated? Like that kind of stuff, right? But I really noticed that people weren't bringing like hundreds of piles of stuff because you want to leave with nothing, right? You don't want to have to bring it back if you're selling shit, right? So I guess the less you take, the less you got to haul out. But like that's the thing, like if you only have like 12, like only have 12 copies of a magazine, you might get 12 people to want one, right? Don't take like 100.
I would carry out boxes non-conspicuously out of shows because we weren't allowed to tear down until after the show ended. So I always kept the booth up. But if I had extra boxes of magazines, I start, let's say, like noon hour on the Sunday and take a box out. A little while later. And then that way it doesn't look like you're, packing up and leaving because you're not allowed to leave. But it was always nice just to pack up everything on the cart at the end and just walk out. Yeah,
not have 100 boxes to have to go back to pick up. Yeah. I mean, I know. I remember the one year, like I wasn't flying home and would have been able to like pack a bunch of stuff with me. I would have brought home a lot more stuff than I did, right? But I had to fly back home, and I only had one suitcase, so I had one carry-on. I guess I could have stuff on cargo and stuff. I never, you just don't think of those things when you're, when you're there. But yeah, like because I think I had to buy another suitcase the one trip out. Because I had got so much stuff from TY that I had to buy another bag to take my stuff home.
I had so much stuff.
Well, because I had all the jars from the judging kit, like because the judges kit had all the in the little jars, right? So all the jars and all the paraphernalia and papers, like I'm pretty sure I had to buy another suitcase to bring everything home.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go for break. Things are all out of swing today as far as time wise, so we'll take a break. We'll get back. We're gonna talk about the Global Marijuana March.
Okay, I'm gonna put my computer on because now the stupid thing's working.
Oh, okay. Well,
we'll see. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. I'll wait till I'm on it before I say it.
Okay, all right. Okay. I'll watch for you to pop up. See if you pop up in the lobby.
Well, I'm gonna stay on here till I make sure that I'm not popping up somewhere else.
Okay. All right. All right, we're off. We're gone. We're heading to break. This is Pace Radio Show. We're live here at paceradio.net and 420 ateze.ca. We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net. Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420. Rerolled Saturdays. Check it out. Nothing but non-stop cannabis and psychedelic programming. Find it at 420pace.ca.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Are you looking to get your medical cannabis grow license? Limestone City Hydroponics can help patients through the process of obtaining their license to grow medical cannabis. What's that? You don't have a doctor? If you meet the medical criteria, Limestone City Hydroponics has a nurse practitioner who can assess and provide medical cannabis prescriptions. What are you waiting for? Contact Limestone City Hydroponics at limestonecityhydroponics.ca or call them at 613-548-0420.
Pace Radio is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Hey, you're watching the Pace Radio Show, not only listening to it, but Tamara, as you know, if you were watching before the break, Tamara was having problems with her computer tonight, and she switched over to her phone, and then before we went for break, her computer started to work again, so she was going to switch back to her computer during break. And I saw her leave the room, but I have yet to see her return. So I'll just keep going along until she gets back. See what happens. To see if she does make it back. And we were late to get the show started, and because she was having problems with her computer, and it looks like it's gonna carry on. Good night. Hey, good day there, Anthony. How you doing? You got yourself you got a canna crawl coming up soon. If you do, send me a message and I'll let everybody know. Right, Anthony Hamilton Vape down there in Hamilton have canna crawls, and those are basically green markets, vendor markets, whatever you want to call them, of different cannabis products and from different vendors. Tamara and I were talking. He says that it is on July the 26th. I think I may have a picture of that, Anthony. Actually, I see Tamara is back. I'm in a conversation with Anthony Foster. We're talking about he's got an upcoming event. And I think I've got a picture of it here, and that's because I was at the Global Marijuana March.
Oh, yes, we want to talk about that.
Correct. There it is. Okay. You said July the 26th. There we go. I've got it. Right there. Summer crawl.
Right on.
Yeah, I took that picture off of Rena's booth at the Globe Marijuana March, just so you know. Anthony says he's live from Jamaica. He's in
Hi,
Archeria.
Anthony. That's awesome. So how many people showed up? Let's talk about the GMM.
Okay, the Globe Marijuana March in Toronto. I'm just going to finish up with Anthony here. It's July 26th. It's from 2 till 10. I'll have to have him on as a guest. He's going to send me the information. Why don't we just have you on as a guest?
I can see his chat here too. I'll send you an info.
He'll send me the info, and we'll have him on as a guest too, and you can tell us all about it. Yeah, I'm just writing myself a note, so I remember. And I was talking to Rena about the markets when I was at the Global Marijuana March, and while I was there and speaking with Rena, I bought myself some Arena's hot sauce.
Ooh.
Yeah. A small bottle of hot sauce. It's made with all these kinds of different peppers. And actually, I did a review on it on Tuesday on the Hi Guys.
Oh, how was it?
Good. It was good. It's hot.
How did you manage with that? Did you just have a little bit?
Correct. Just a little bit. Moderation is the key, right? You get a taste.
Just a little bit. That's all you need, right? Just a little bit.
She was making other stuff. She was making tacos and stuff like that there. And when I was getting the hot sauce off of her, somebody was also buying a taco. So they said, "Hey, can I try that sauce on my taco?" And Rena said, "Sure, no problem." So they took the cap off, and I think they were expecting to be like a little thing in the end that just allows like squirts to come out.
Right. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. That would be brutal.
Yeah. So they got lots of hot sauce, and it is infused, 25 milligrams of THC to a tablespoon. So
nice. I made infused bacon jam.
Yeah. I just used it to. First thing I thought of was about putting it on wings, and then I don't want to overcook it because, like you say, you'll burn it off. So I thought I could use it as a dip for wings.
Well, yeah. Well, usually when you make wings, you fry your chicken up first, then you just heat up the sauce, and you flip your wings through the sauce.
Dip it. Yeah, I barbecue mine with wings and sauce on it.
Well, you can do that too.
Yeah.
It's all in your preference, right? But I know that, like, when I make wings, I usually deep fry them, and then I put sauce on afterwards.
So I understand it up. We had some rotisserie chicken, leftover rotisserie chicken for supper. So I just poured a little bit of that on my plate and just took little pieces of the chicken and tried it like that, and it was good. It was good. It didn't bother me, because it was it was moderation, right? Just have a little bit, and try it out. So.
Okay, let's go for
now, as far as the march and all that, there was 4 vendors in total that were there.
Nice.
All right. There was one that had all different kinds of food products and chips and things, and they had beverages, cannabis infused beverages.
Nice.
There was another one that had, baked goods and things. And then there was arenas that had baked goods and making food right there. Like I said, the tacos, right? And had, cookies and things. And then there was another guy. He had just like his table wasn't much bigger than a bench. Really, but it was raised. It was like a table that people could stand around, and it was only like 2 feet wide and like 3 or 4 feet long. And he had some cannabis products, but he also had mushrooms on his table. A lot of people stopped and talked that, we're going through. But overall, I have attended the march with its biggest crowds, with tens of thousands of people. I must say now that I think I've attended one of the smaller marches I counted 25, and I guesstimated that there might have been 35 or 40 people. That was it. As far as March,
really
there was more people in the park
that weren't involved and were.
But maybe there was. I'd be lucky to say that there was not even 100 people when we started the march. As far as being in the general area of the vendors and stuff like that, right? It is disappointing to see it to get to that point, but with COVID and then legalization, things really haven't been done over the last several years. And
I'm getting the word out too. Like I wasn't I wasn't aware. I wasn't even aware. I didn't know you guys were doing a march at all because I hadn't seen anything and come across Facebook. There was nothing, right? Like
there was. Yeah, it was just small. Like we went down, we covered the event. We went down and broadcast. We marched in the march. We walked around. I just talked to people. I didn't ask, like last year I walked around and asked them why they marched. This year I asked them, different questions to different people. Like I asked one person, like, how do you get more people to attend?
Well, I think right now, to be fair, worldwide, people are protesting on Saturdays for things that are, especially in the United States, with the orange potato and stuff. I'm not saying that we should take our focus off of cannabis in any way, stretch, or form, but I think right now with all the other things in the world that are going on, I just don't think people are focusing. I found a consultation that Cheryl actually sent me from Health Canada on the CBDs going into a health food store.
Yeah. They've had that out. I think the original post was like March 7th or something.
Yeah, on that. And Cheryl says, "Why aren't we screaming and yelling about this?" And I said,
"Yeah,
I don't know." So I posted on my page. I did my whole show about it on Monday. I went through the questionnaire. I filled out the questionnaire live on the air. Through some of it, because some of it's pretty complex, but it's more about for producers. It's not even for the average person. When you get down to it, they want you to go and check this out first and read through this before you even comment. And I just kept saying, you need to talk to patients. You need to consult with the people that already know what they need. No, we don't need it behind a pharmacy. Do you have Tylenol? I've got Tylenol on my shelf at the store. You don't need Tylenol being handed out by a pharmacist. Why do you need CBD being handed out? So those are the answers they're getting from me. Like, why don't you talk to people that know? Why don't you take some, something that we've been talking about since 2000?
Yeah, that would. Well, I know that they're looking at having them available in the stores. Like,
but it gets into packaging.
Other cream.
How do you think they should be packaged? And how do you think they should have warning labels on them? And like the questions are just kind of ridiculous.
It'd be a cannabis health product versus like as a natural health product type thing.
You want to see what I got from the store? So I ordered some stuff online the other day. So it got delivered to me. And here I got premium cannabis green tea blend containing CBDs.
There you go.
From the legal store. With little excise right on it.
And it's
here's another one. Here's another present they sent me. Raindrops.
Who sent you?
When I order from Green Gear. So when I get stuff delivered, they always throw in extra stuff.
Who's Green Gear?
Green Gear Cannabis. It's my store, my legal store that I go to all the time here in town.
Oh, okay, all right. Wow.
So yesterday I ordered some stuff because I didn't have anything. I didn't have any meds. So I ordered a small amount because I didn't have any money either. And they sent me some CBD tea and a pin.
Samples.
Samples. This is like a big. This thing's worth.
Yeah, maybe that's the smallest one that they had. Thanks for love, Daniel.
But again, I'm gonna I've been using this for the substitution program.
Okay, good. Right? Yeah.
Because when I get donations like that, this I'll probably try because I have trouble sleeping because
Yeah.
me CBD might, but I also bought myself
Sure.
sativa so I could sleep.
I've done that now. What I've started to do is because I've grow the CBD strain for me and Gail, and so now I've just started to mix it. I keep pointing back there because I've got my stuff that I roll for that day is usually in this box, and I got a couple of jars of oil there too.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Like I've got right too because like what I mean. Like everything sits like, pretty well. Like this is my medicine cabinet right here on my bed.
Yeah,
This is my son because I was always losing all my stuff. So he bought me this for Easter so I could put all my stuff on my bed so I didn't lose stuff. I still lose stuff.
Okay. Yeah, so as far as the Global Marijuana March, now there was apparently one going on in New York. During the broadcast, Al mentioned that there was one going on in New York. And we had conversations with people who were commenting. So we interacted with our commenters. Just so you know, in Mexico City, they did hold a march. They said that thousands of people flooded the streets of Mexico City this weekend demanding free access to cannabis. And protesters who took part in Saturday's demonstration also demanded having the ability to grow it for personal use and for legal harassment of using it to end. So there you go. That's the Global Marijuana March right there.
Right. Oh, I'm glad. Because that's the thing. Like, I think
that's why people say, like, why do we? It's legal in Canada. Why do we need to march?
Well, that's exactly what I mean. Like, we've taken it for granted. We've taken it for granted that we have access now, and we don't need to do anything more. But again, patients don't have the access that they need. Sure, you can go to a store, but are you getting exactly what you need? Like this,
the stores cannot replace a medical program.
So. Well, they're saying this has got 20 milligrams of CBD in it.
Yeah.
And like 1 milligram of THC.
Yeah.
But I know that, but here's the thing, because we've had great genetics growing in the legacy market that have been sold to the legal market, they're growing the same stuff that we were using as patients.
Yeah, my CBD strain, the seeds come from the legacy market, and the strain itself has got more CBD than THC in it.
Yeah, this says it's got 20%. I haven't opened it. Doesn't tell you how long you got.
Yeah. So Mexico, they had a march, and they said that the efforts to modernize Mexico's cannabis policies have taken many turns in recent years. Back in 2021, Mexico's Supreme Court ruled in an 8-3 decision that the prohibition of private recreational use of cannabis by adults was unconstitutional. Yeah. And here they are, 4 years later, still trying to get access.
Well, they have a new government right now, so maybe that'll make a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm not saying that she's any fairer because she was like basically handpicked by the previous government. So I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So you know what the packaging date on this is?
No.
April 27th, 2020.
What? Which product is that?
The tea. Packaged on April 27th, 2020.
It's over 5 years old. Wow. Ooh. And they didn't sell it to you, but still, it shows us, and I'm sure it says there's no expiry date has been determined yet.
No, there's no, yeah, that's exactly what it says. Recommended instructions, steep for 3 to 5 minutes. I don't think I want to even open it. It'd probably be more.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah. That's at 5 years old. Wow. I'm surprised it hasn't been destroyed just because. Now you know what gets.
It smells funky.
Smells funky. Oh, it's the buds. Oh, and they're 5 years old and they've been in there. Ooh.
It's in a tea bag.
Oh, tea bag. It's inside a tea bag. It's buds inside the tea bag. Oh, look at the look on her face. Oh, let's see that. I blew up your picture. Oh, look at the look. Oh, nasty. It smells. Oh.
Like, what's the white stuff in there?
I don't know. Oh, it smells funky.
Like, what would that be?
I don't know.
That would be the CBD.
Oops. I took us out of the picture.
The white stuff would be the CBD because here's the thing.
Why is CBD white? My CBD plant is still green.
I've gotten white powder sent to me as CBD. And when
Really crystallized. Wow. Yeah. No.
And the green stuff is the green tea. So the white stuff will be your CBD, and then the green stuff will be your green leaf tea, your green leaf. There's no buds in it at all.
No, eh?
There might be a few, looks like maybe, I don't think there's even any cannabis leaf in it. Maybe some cannabis leaf. I don't know if that's cannabis leaf or if that's green, if that's tea.
Oh. And or may contain. Sounds like a hot dog.
It's called Haven.
Oh.
Haven. So it's supposed to be in Haven. I'm in Haven.
No.
Not at 2020. That's a 5-year-old tea bag, man.
Yeah.
Tea lasts that long.
It's over 5 years because it was April. We're into May.
Like, why was that not recalled by the BCLCBO? Like, our cigarettes don't even sit around for that fucking long.
Yeah, because this came through, like, you didn't buy this, but it came as a sample within an order that you did place from them.
Maybe they can have stuff like this laying around for that long. Maybe they're allowed to keep samples.
Like, no, they can return stuff.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I can't see. I don't even know if they've been in business that long. I guess they put me. I don't think. They haven't
even been in business that long. Nasty. All right, what do we got? We got another 20 minutes or so. Okay.
So you
I'm gonna
have a great. You had no great turnout, but you actually like didn't have a.
Correct. Yeah, like I parked the closest I've ever parked to it this time.
Well, there's always next year.
Yeah, well, I called it this year's Global Marijuana March was the dedicated old timer version.
Was it?
Because the majority of the people that were there were people who had been going there for years and years and years.
Well, those are the people who are going to hold it up.
And dedicated people like Naomi was there, Allison was there.
The people that are going to.
Eve was there.
Yeah, you were there. You're there.
Yeah, I was there. Al was there in spirit, running the camera for me. Yeah, it's just Daniel was there.
Tracy's gone, right? Tracy was a big part of that.
Amy was there. I spoke with Amy during the march. Yeah.
So I mean, Amy being there, that's bringing Tracy too, right?
Correct. And when Amy's involved, Tracy's involved.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna take another break, and we're gonna come back with I've got 10 myths about cannabis that just won't die. I haven't read it, so we'll find out.
I'm not dead yet.
We'll find out what the myths are when we come back from the break. You're watching the Pace Radio Show. We're live here at paceradio.net and 420pace.ca.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. Open Monday to Friday from 10 till 7 p.m. or by chance. Check out our flags, our t-shirts, plus our hats. And look of that supply of rolling papers, plus much more. We've got bongs and your favorite herbal vaporizers. Look at all the incense we have, as well as for those who collect knives, check out these knives in our collection. And while you're here, stop in to see Shay at the piercing room, where you can get poked by Shay. Daily deals, check them out. Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford, Ontario. Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420. Rerolled Saturdays. Check it out. Nothing but non-stop cannabis and psychedelic programming. Find it at 420pace.ca. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. And you're watching the Pace Radio Show. And we're going to, as I mentioned before the break, we're going to get into 10 myths that just won't die about cannabis. Now, as I mentioned, I haven't read it. So this
could be an eye opener for both of us then?
It could be an eye opener for both of us. Correct.
All right. Let's get to it.
Okay, here we go. Myth number 1. Cannabis, like other drugs, always leads to addiction. The claim: one puff and you're doomed.
Only if it tastes good.
It says the truth, not so fast. Yes, cannabis can be habit forming, but it's nowhere near the league of opioids, alcohol, or nicotine. Roughly 1 in 10 cannabis users, which is the way I understand it as well, may develop cannabis use disorder, a condition that exists on a spectrum ranging from mild to severe.
You can put tobacco on the same spectrum.
Pardon
Some
me?
people smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day. Some people only smoke 5 cigarettes a day. Somebody smoke a full pack of cigarettes a day. So you can put cannabis and tobacco on the same level, right?
Yeah.
There are things that are definitely comparable and worse for you.
Myth number 2. All cannabis strains feel the same. The claim: bud is bud. It's all the same high. No. It's not all the same. They're all different. They have different terpenes in them. They have different amounts of terpenes in them.
Even if it's indica and sativa,
THC,
different, right?
Different amounts of the cannabinoids in them, percentage-wise. No. Now, let's see what they say as far as the truth. The truth, that's like saying every wine gets you drunk the same way. Each cannabis strain has its own unique blend of cannabinoids and terpenes. Due to their unique cannabinoid and terpene compositions, one might make you feel uplifted and talkative, while another could have you glued to the couch mid-sentence. And don't forget about body chemistry, too, as well as, each one of us is different. So, but yeah.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
it affects everybody differently, no matter what strain it is.
Yeah, they completely agree with what we said. Myth: autoflowers are weak sauce. The claim: autoflowering plants cute to grow, but not the real deal. What do you think?
I have no comment on that because I've never grown an autoflower plant.
Okay,
before.
all right. So you
So
haven't
I
grown.
don't know. I can't give you an honest opinion on that because I don't
It's
know.
fair. Okay, I have grown one. Actually, I have grown 4. I grew one last year. And I got 14 grams. That's what I got from it. Now I know other people get more than 14 grams, but that's what I got off of mine. Now,
So would you say you'd do it again, or would you say you'd rather have a mother plant and clone knowing that it's going to produce a certain amount?
yeah, well, I had strains last year that produced over 2 pounds. So,
Well, that's what I
yeah.
mean. So when people are saying autoflower, to me, when I hear autoflower, this is my first conception of that, and this is my honest opinion. I think of laziness. I think of somebody that wants to stick a seed in the ground and do absolutely nothing with it. And when you're a true gardener, you want to be able to take care of that plant, clone that plant, keep that same strain, that plant alive and continuing to generate. So you're, because you're as you go on with your genetics and so many generations of plant, right? So I'm one to want to be mothering and gathering and cloning myself personally.
Now the other 3 that I grew were all the same, and they were. I gotta say, I believe that they were crossed with low rider.
Oh yeah.
Because literally they were 18 inches tall at the most, and they were done. I had them in
Oh,
5-gallon pails sitting in the backyard a few years ago.
oh,
They were just short little things like 18 inches tall. That was it. That's all they were.
we never got any more, and they budded out. Well, because they're autoflower, they're going to flower
They're
when
out
they
of
want.
yeah, exactly. So let's see what the truth is according to this. This is at cannabis.net, just so you know. The truth: CBD and THC are like siblings from the same family, but they have unique fingerprints. These 2 cannabinoids vary due to their unique interactions with their bodies. And oh yeah, no, am I in the wrong spot? I'm at the wrong spot. Sorry. I gave us a hint for the next one. Says that each cannabis strain has its own unique. The truth. That's like saying each wine. Now I mentioned that. That's the same strain. So where's the CBD, CHC, autoflowers? There it is. Okay. I must have jumped over one. Okay. They say the truth. The joke's about a decade outdated. See, autoflowers get a bad rap early on. Low potency, low yield. That's what I talked about, right? Low yield. But the game has changed. Breeders have spent years fine-tuning genetics. Today, top-shelf autoflowers rival period or photo period strains in THC content, flavor, and bag appeal. Plus, they flower based on age, not light cycle. That means faster harvest and fewer headaches, especially for small scale or stealth growers. Think of them as the electric cars of the cannabis world, once doubted, now silently taking over. Now, I know in some of the groups that I'm on Facebook, there are people that are growing autoflowers, and they're asking about feeding schedules and so on and so forth with them. So yeah,
Well, the autoflowers are the original Gorilla Grow, right? When you think about it, those are the ones
Ruderalis, yeah,
in the forest, and you could put drip lines to them and walk away, right? So that's I think those were the original Gorilla Gardens, the
yeah,
Gorilla Gardens, right? That's what they want. Because then they didn't have to worry, just throw a bunch of seeds out and off to the races, right?
Yeah. So myth number 3. CBD and THC are basically the same thing. The claim. It's just all weed.
That's the best one yet. That's funny as shit. I've never heard that one. How could you even say that in the same sentence?
Now I've heard people when I ask them, what kind of cannabis is that strain and all that. I've got a friend, he'll just say the good stuff.
Well, I mean, if you don't want to get high, depending on what your needs are. Because some people will say, I don't want to get high, I don't want to feel the high. And they think that the CBD strains, but why smoke it then? Like, if you don't want to get high, why are you smoking it? Then just in edibles or something. Like, that's my only thing with CBD is like, if you don't want to get high, why are you smoking it? Like,
you ingest it because then you're putting it through your whole body. Yeah. Okay. They say that THC binds straight to CBD receptors in the brain, flipping the switch on that classic cannabis high. CBD, on the other hand, won't get you high. In fact, researchers show that it can tame some of THC's more intense side effects, like paranoia or racing thoughts. So there you go.
People, if you're getting a little bit too green, just pop a CBD cap.
Okay, here. Myth number 5. Cannabis has no medicinal value. The claim, it's not medicine. It's just an excuse to get high. Boy, I've heard that one a gazillion times.
The thing is, medicine's not supposed to get you high. Like, you don't take.
Well, you do if you're taking opioids, or you take too many.
If you're taking opioids
too many aspirins, you'll get high.
Well, exactly. So why would they even put the two on the same?
Yeah.
I'm sick of hearing that one because it's not even.
Research, according to the truth, research says otherwise. Cannabis is legally prescribed for debilitating conditions that are distinctly defined from one legal zone to the next. You may also want to know that a drug containing CBD has been proven by the FDA for rare forms of epilepsy. The plant isn't a miracle cure, but to say it has no medical benefit is willfully ignoring mountains of peer review evidence. Bingo, it is. It's one of the most studied plants. Yeah. Oh,
the FDA tell Health Canada the same shit so that we can get off this.
Yeah. Now, okay, so there we go.
But you never know now because the FDA might have erased all that information because it might just be a myth.
Okay, myth number 6. Legal equals harmless. The claim, if it's on the shelf at the dispensary, it must be safe.
Yeah, well, at least it's been tested, so it's not full of mold and fentanyl, and so yes, I would say that that's true because it's not crap off. And if you're getting
Now I will say there has been some unsafe cannabis found in the legal market here in Canada, and I know lots has been found in the U.S. because
pesticides. Yeah,
and most of our recalls are due to
pesticides.
Well, the labeling.
What do you mean?
Being labeled wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. Or the information on the label is incorrect. Most of it is that way, but there have been mold and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't there an issue with pesticides? I think there were a couple too. Right?
Yeah. There was the organogram situation years ago. Correct.
That was many years ago.
Many years ago. Yeah. Okay. The truth, regulation is not the same as invincibility. Correct. Cannabis is getting more powerful by the day, and too much THC can mess with your head, impair your driving, or trigger anxiety. Certain strains don't play nice with everyone, and I gotta agree. It does, it's not for everybody. Now they say, especially those prone to mental health issues, and yes, it can interact with medications. It just legalization means rules, testing, and accountability.
You know what? We have never once disputed that. I don't think any of us advocates has ever said, "Giddy up, go! It's harmless. It's not gonna." We've never. The only thing we've ever said is you're not gonna die from it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I've ever said to anybody is I know for a fact you aren't going to die from it or overdose and die from it. I've never once ever told anybody that it's harmless.
Yeah, and I try not to tell people it's a cure either.
Oh, me too. I say it's not a cure-all.
Yeah.
And it's a therapeutic.
It hasn't cured my Crohn's, but it's allowed me to not have to deal with opioids when it comes to dealing with pain. I didn't need a prescription to help me get something that who wants to eat when you know what you're going to eat is going to bother you. So, and appetite, sleep, all that stuff, and without having to take friggin' pop. Now, I was doing 32 pills and an injection 32 pills a day and an injection once a week, and now I'm down to just basically, as far as pill wise, it's just 2 prescription pills.
Well, to be fair, not all those pills are for mine.
Yeah, I have to take supplements.
I don't count those. Nothing.
Okay, so here we go. Next myth, number 7. Cannabis kills brain cells. The claim: you'll be dumber every time you spark up. Yes, so I have heard that it kills brain cells. I've heard that many, many times.
This is your brain on drugs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They haven't heard about the study that was done in Saskatoon where it actually showed that it could help rebuild brain cells.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's see what they say here on the myth end of things. The truth: there is no scientific evidence yet. There is no solid evidence yet that says cannabis kills brain cells.
Right?
Yeah.
Or kills your lungs, or does all these really rotten things that they've been claiming for decades. Yeah. So, and one part of me says, you want to believe the government. And then another part of me says, how do you believe the government when they've been lying to us about all this stuff for how long? What else have they been lying to us for and about, right? So kind of put you on the fence when it comes to, wanting to believe medical science. But I think there was a reason more economic and political than it was, and racist than it was about.
Oh yeah, well yeah, they search more for the problems versus the benefits.
Well, then that's the thing. Like when it was prohibited, when prohibition started, we're talking about racism. It all boiled down to racism, right?
Yeah, I'm just seeing if I can find that. Okay. Oh, really? I didn't know that. This is something else. University. When I did a Google search, it's to come up with this one that says University of Saskatchewan launches first study on effects of smoked cannabis on brain development. University of Saskatchewan pharmacologist Robert Lapierre will use Brain Canada research grant to determine how a mother's use of cannabis during pregnancy affects the brain of the developing fetus. That's not the one that I was looking for, but they have all. I looked up a certain study, and it's bringing up all different studies. Yeah, it's an older study, and I don't have. We're live on the air, so I'm not going to go through everything there.
Right.
Can't ignore the audience. But yeah, Saskatoon University, they did a research on cannabis and the brain, as far as whether it was the killed brain cells, and it actually turns around that it helps regenerate them. So, okay, now next.
Yeah, the studies. There's lots of studies on that too.
Myth number 8. Synthetic cannabinoids equal regular weed. The claim: sounds like budget bud. It sounds like synthetic. Why would you want to consume fake cannabis? Like, would that be synthetic cannabis? Would that be something that you would used to see in the back of the magazine, and you could pick up an ounce for like $10 or something like that? It wasn't real cannabis.
Are they talking about like?
Or are they talking about cannabinoids, getting cannabinoids?
It's sativix and whatever you can get from.
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
correct. Okay, well, let's see what they say. Real cannabinoids come from cannabis plant and not from a lab. Truth. Yeah. Well, they're talking about K2 and spice. They're land-made chemicals designed to mimic THC, but with far more aggressive effects. They often cause hallucinations, seizures, or worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Natural cannabis has over 100 cannabinoids. Exactly. Synthetics try to brute force a high with chaos as a side effect. That doesn't sound like good.
No, but they were selling it at the bong store before cannabis was legal. But I think with the side effects that they were finding, I think that they just took it off the market.
Yeah. Okay. We got 2 more to go. All right. And I'm going to actually switch the last 2, because I think the last one's could be some discussion here. Next myth. Feminized seeds are fake or genetically modified. The claim? If it's feminized, it's GMO. What do you think? I have grown feminized seeds. Actually, I got 2 I got 2 seeds that are like 5 years old, at least 5 years old. They may even be 6 years old. And they popped. I've got them growing. They're like this right now, and they're feminized and growing. So, but I'll still check them as if I was growing regular seeds to make sure that there's nothing wrong with them. Yeah. It could be hermaphrodite. Right?
Yeah.
So you still gotta check them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's. I mean, hermaphrodite just gives you seeds.
Yeah. It gives you a better chance, maybe, but it's it's not. I grow regular seeds as well. So.
So what does it say? Are they GMO?
What does it say? It says, if the truth, it's not even close. Feminized seeds are the result of selective non-GMO breeding. Okay, let's see what all this say here. Feminized seeds have nothing to do with genetic modification of the cannabis plants. Instead, breeders use selective breeding techniques that achieve pollen used to feminize female plants to produce a 99% female offspring. And here is why this matters. You don't have to play guessing games. I still check it. There's no risk of rogue males pollinating your crop, and growers get more control, more flower, less hassle. Now, I see they didn't mention the word, was it silver nitrate that they spray on the seeds? Now, unless they were saying that selective breeding techniques that achieve pollen used in feminized female plants. I don't know, because they don't mention that. That's my understanding. That's the way they do it. I've seen articles on it. What do you think? You're speechless.
I've been told that they have to float the seeds in something, and then that tells them whether they're feminized or not.
Oh yeah, no. I've seen people. I know people float them to help. Yeah. And some people do that in order for them to grow easier, so that they.
I don't know much about genetics and breeding. That's never been.
Yeah. No, I've never tried to play with Mother Nature that way, to find out. But yeah,
it's complicated enough just to keep enough work.
So, the last myth. Cannabis is a gateway drug. The claim, Smoke weed today, and you will certainly shoot heroin tomorrow. What do you think?
Noel, what do you think? You and I, where are we sitting now? 20 years later, I've never done heroin. How about you?
No. And I use cannabis as a substitute for opiate drugs, and opiate drugs are based on
So yeah,
poppies and heroin.
yeah.
So, nah.
So here we are with that, and never mind the fact that some of us have used cannabis to get the gateway out, to be the
Yeah,
gateway.
exactly. Like we started the show when we started talking about cannabis, cannabis substitution program.
Substitution. So
You know,
many people use it as a gateway out, whether gateway in.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's kind of a moot point anymore because we've already seen that the research is there after almost like 7 years of legalization. I'm not going to say that we've done a lot of research, but even with the usage, the sky hasn't fallen. There's been no uptick in impaired driving or incidents due to impaired or cannabis consumption or people being beat up because somebody was high on cannabis. There's so many things that they tried to accentuate that was going to happen that haven't. So you can't prove something is harmful when it's not. It just doesn't. The information's not there. You can't.
No, they've been trying to prove this for years, and
So that's the biggest, fattest lie
yeah,
ever, and we all know that. So and I think
exactly.
that's not in Canada.
Yeah. A lot of patients and a lot of people around the world have proven that myth completely false. I'll agree to there's that small percentage of people. There's like 9% is the claim that I've read that get addicted to be habit forming, stuff like that.
Teenage kids start smoking cigarettes first.
Yeah, I started smoking cigarettes when I was 8 years old.
Right?
I stole
Kids
them
start
off my
smoking
mom.
cigarettes first, then they go to alcohol because dad's left a beer laying around, and that's socially acceptable. Grad now, parents will drive their kids off to the bush. They go get drunk in the bush and then go pick them up the next morning. No, it was supervision out in the middle of nowhere, right? So
Right.
Safe grad or whatever the hell you want to call it. Where are we at with cannabis?
Now, as far as what this article says, as far as the gateway drug, they say the truth. This myth has been used to justify decades of prohibition, and it's now conclusively backed. And it's not conclusively backed by modern science. What actually predicts drug use, peers, trauma, social economic status, environment. In fact, cannabis is showing promise as an exit drug, especially for people trying to reduce opioid dependence or alcohol intake. It's not a gateway. It's a door, and how you walk through it matters. There you go. Yeah.
That's right.
Exactly.
Well, so that excerpt from the newspaper really made my day this morning because like Wednesdays the paper comes in, Tuesdays. Wednesday morning is my morning. It's pretty slow. I get a coffee and my little vape. I sit there and read the newspaper and have a coffee and smoke a cigarette. You know what I mean? On my Wednesday morning. So this morning when I opened that up and read that, I was like, so I just figured that, that was good because it means that maybe it is making a difference.
Yeah, there's it could be several things that are making a difference.
And housing too, and
housing, the people themselves, the work that you're doing, and exactly. Now there is a conclusion, and I'll read part of it, and it says cannabis isn't the devil's lettuce anymore. It's not a miracle cure either. What it is a chemically complex, incredibly adaptable plant with real therapeutic value, real limitations, and way too many myths still riding its coattails. Yeah, exactly.
Why we just got
I had a conversation recently with a very well-known cannabis researcher, and talking about cannabis being a dietary supplement, like something that we should be having in our diets. Like for example, you go outside to your plant or you're down to your garden and you snap off a fresh leaf remove the stem,
That's what.
and then break it up and put it in your salad.
All the sprouts, right?
Yeah, the sprouts, exactly.
Cheryl's
Same
working
thing.
on that research too. Like she's been working with the university in Kamloops.
Yeah.
Like she's presentation after presentation. She's going to start talking more and more about it. The problem with what they're doing too for right now is the fact that Health Canada still recognizes a sprout as a plant, and in order for them to have the ability to grow as many as you need to have a licensing to grow over 10,000 plants a month. And that's an exuberant amount of plants that Health Canada cannot justify. So the research papers is to show Health Canada, like, literally, this is not a plant. Like, you know what I mean? This is a sprout.
Yeah.
It only has to grow for 14 days. Like, there are so many things that, but again, they have to have peer reviews and all this other research done.
I posted on my Facebook wall some leaves that I had dried out, and I posted an article that I got from Cannabis Creative blog, and it talks about cannabis as a food, and it says cannabis we have a superfood. While studies are limited to full extent of the health benefits, raw cannabis, current studies have shown that cannabis fan leaves and even flowers are an incredibly nutrient dense, containing essential fatty acids, 9 essential amino acids, dietary fiber, enzymes, vitamins, minerals, keratins, terpenes, and phytocannabinoid acids. Raw leaves can provide the body with an abundance of essential nutrients, including protein, fats, carbohydrates, trace amounts of calcium, sodium, potassium, and omega fatty 3 acids. That's just from the friggin' leaves.
Well, that's why they've been pumping juicing the fan leaf, right? Because fan leaf, for edible. Because let's face it, nobody's smoking the fan leaf.
Yeah. Now it goes on to say fresh leaves. You can substitute fan leaves almost anywhere you use fresh. Use spinach or kale, like in a salad or in a pasta, paninis, soups and stews. Separate the leaves from the stems like you would with kale. Wash and let them dry before adding to your recipe. If you're concerned about the texture of the leaves, dice them finely before adding.
Using like cilantro.
Yeah. Or dry them out, grind them into powder, and add them to your favorite food or beverage. Dried fan leaves and pulse them into a green powder. And this is you can dehydrate the fan leaves in your oven or allow temperature for a few hours, and then pulse them in homemade green powder that you can add to any recipe for a nutrient dense kick. So there you go. Like they say, it's a superfood. Look, all those benefits, ingredients. Never mind all the health benefits that we're getting out of seeing with people with epilepsy.
My fear is just for me because I can't eat green vegetables.
Yeah, I'll eat green vegetables, but I'm I've had usually I make the oil or I've made the butter, but I've never tried just taking a fresh leaf, cutting it up, and adding it to a salad because it would be blended in the flavor. I'm hoping the chlorophyll taste. Hopefully, it would be drowned out by the salad dressing and everything else that's in the salad.
Get radishes.
Yeah, get radishes. Yeah, there you go.
I mix it with arugula. So have an arugula and cannabis. So you have that spicy peppery arugula with the cannabis and the radish with some tomatoes. That would be that would be all right. Put some crunchy chow mein noodle in it or something if you can handle a rice noodle. Yeah.
You could dry them out easily. You let them dry naturally, or you can just put them in a box with a lamp with a light in there. Put a box in a light, and that'll heat up and it'll dry them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've got a little container and I've put some in it, and I don't have a grinder. I'm just cutting them up, and it's turning it into dust slowly. So, all right. Got anything else you want to talk about? We haven't got much time anyways, but
No, I'm good.
you're good.
Good. Yeah.
Right. I had a pile of stuff. Maybe next week what we'll get into is there was one article there I wanted to discuss with you, and that had to do with organic cannabis and how Health Canada deals with organic cannabis and organic cannabis claims here in Canada.
Oh, yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, because I grow with living organic soil, so I was really curious on how they do that. So we'll get into that next week if we don't have a guest. If we have a guest, fine, we have a guest. The article will be around. It'll still be on my the Facebook wall, right? So It's always, I can always find it. All right. Other than that, Tamara and I will return next week, as I've mentioned. Thanks go to our sponsors, and that would be Limestone City Hydroponics.ca, the Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, as well as At-Eze.ca. Thanks everybody for tuning into the program. Thanks for the love, and we'll see you all next. Let's share PACE everywhere. That way it can help create peace. People everywhere advocating cannabis education. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.